All right, me, William, we're going. I turned it on, yeah. Oh, somebody did that to it, huh? Anyway, we're on our way to the farm, unless my wife rams into me. What's she doing? What is she up to? Oh, there she goes. All right, so we're on our way to a farm. Oh, what did I... Oh. I guess I do have a formal announcement. I bought a Great Plains piece of equipment. Never really had much faith in Great Plains planters because they just seem like there's a lot of moving parts in those things. But anybody that's had them enjoys them until the bearings start to go out. So I spoke with Eastern Shore Farmer many times, and he's got videos on his tillage machine, his vertical tillage machine. I bought a Turbo Max 2400, and his biggest complaint was that the bearings were in the gangs were bad, but they've done a lot of acres with it, and they converted them over to the new style bearings, which are supposed to be better than the old style bearings. And you know, anybody that's running the Great Plains vertical tillage or Tillage Max feels that it's a great improvement over the older bearings. So that was important. This machine, there's always negative people, okay? Let's just get this out of the way. There's always negative people when it comes to a new piece of equipment. It's always, oh, you should have looked at this, or you should have bought that, or you should have did this, and you should have did that, and you should have did the other thing, and that's a piece of junk. My neighbor has one and he hates it, but my uncle has one and he loves it. And you know, it just, the list goes on and on. It's like, why did you buy a Ford? You should have bought a Chevy. And then you buy a Chevy, and it's like, why did you buy a Chevy? You should have bought a Dodge. You know, it's like one thing after the other. So now I'm going to give you the reasons that I bought this vertical tillage machine, the 2400, and I'm going to tell you why I didn't buy the 3000, because I just figured that I owe everybody an explanation before they get on the comment section and start saying, oh, you shoulda, coulda, woulda, did the other thing, you know? So, number one, I wanted a vertical tillage machine. I did not want a high-speed disc. There's only two companies that actually make a true vertical tillage machine. And as far as I know, there's only one company that makes a vertical tillage machine that has the ability to angle the gangs. And that's this company. Okay, so the reason I wanted a true vertical tillage machine is because I'm done with tillage. Okay? For the most part, I'm not going to chisel plow, I'm not going to moldboard plow, I'm not going to run a disc harrow, I'm not doing any of that stuff. What I need to do and what I want to do is actually roll down cover crops. Like that. Roll down cover crops, excite the microbes at the top of the soil by introducing a little bit of oxygen, and soften the top inch to inch and a half layer of topsoil. Just that little bit, this much, that's it. Straight cuts going in. All it does is it cuts it. As it comes out, it flicks the dirt up just a very minute little tiny bit, which throws a little bit of dirt up on top of whatever it is, whether it's residue, crop residue, or whether it is a cover crop. There's a little bit of dirt on top of it and gets the microbes on the plant where it belongs to start to break it down. It will not affect the rhizosphere. The rhizosphere is where the mycorrhizal fungi and the majority of your earthworms and other things that are growing in the soil, the different microbes and amoebas and freaking tardigrades and all those fun things that make soil health work. So, and it's okay to actually till the top 2 inches of your soil. It will have very little negative effect, if any. More than likely it will be all positive. So by breaking up that I'd say the crust, or by breaking that soil up a little bit in the spring, you can get on a little faster in the spring if there's not much cover there. It will allow the soil to dry out a little bit faster. It will allow nutrients that you put on to go in to the soil. Like I use compost, mushroom compost. So that mushroom compost and tea will go down into the soil. I use lime, ag lime. If it sits on top of the ground, it only sweetens the top 1/4 inch the first year, and then yes, that is sweet corn. Anyway, so if you till it up a little bit, the next rainstorm, you're getting that lime down into the ground, into the root zone, where your microbes and your mycorrhizal fungi and all that fun stuff is. That's where it's at. It's right there in the top 4 inches. So if you get it halfway there, life is good, because it will sweeten the soil deeper, the microbes will be healthier, and the fungus will grow better. Plus my secret sauce, which if you haven't figured it out, I'm still not telling you. There's secret sauce and other things that are out there that I use. There's the foliar feed, and the most important thing is no tilling into a cover crop. So you roll it down, you cut those slots, they're 3.5 inches apart. These slots are 3.5 inches apart, they're about that far apart. It shatters that, softens it up enough that your corn planter or grain drill will penetrate easily into make a nice seed bed. In the fall, when I'm planting, say, wheat or rye, I can go in with my VT, angle the blade 2 to 4 degrees, and I go in with a fertilizer spreader, spread the seed, and then angle the blade at 8-10 miles an hour, angle those gangs, and then just flick enough dirt up onto that wheat or rye, and lo and behold, I have planted a bunch of acres really quick, and that is what I want. Now, there's a lot of guys that said, well, you should buy the TerraMax instead of the Turbo Max. You need the TerraMax. Well, I looked at the TerraMax, and the TerraMax is already 2 degrees. The dish on the blade is 2 degrees, from what I gathered, is 2 degrees. You never get a true vertical tillage machine out of that. And I'm looking for a true vertical tillage machine. So that's why I bought the Great Plains Turbo Max 2400. If I'd have bought the 3000, I would only have one tractor that I would be able to pull it at the 6-degree angle at any type of speed that it needs to be run at. With the 2400, I can run the 8530, the 7530, the 6210R, the 8120, the 4960, and in a real pinch, the 7810. I got 6 tractors I can run that machine with, and it'll be good. But if I got the 30, maybe the 6210R, and definitely the 8530. So I would, because the 6210R is a little bit hotter than what it was naturally. So anyway, so that being said, I'm at the farm. I've talked for about 6 minutes, and now you know why I have it. I don't want to hear I should have bought an accelerator. I don't want to hear any of the negatives of it. I've already weighed the negatives and found out that it's a positive thing for me. All right, so here's what we've got. These gears, these are ours. These two here, that goes to that one, but it's these two here and this one here. It's a 285? I didn't think they were 285s, but this is them. This is the same gear I have under the other 2 wagons. There. And we get 2 tongues, 4 reaches, and we're good. That should be good. I'm hoping they're long enough, but we'll find out. You should come out and get them. All right, so these 4 ears are out of the same field. Okay, right. So, how do you decipher what you've got? It's all the same variety. It's, I think, 101 day decalb variety, same field, same treatment. The difference between this field is there are some very diverse conditions in the field. You have high and dry, you've got low and wet, and you've got ideal. The high and dry are these 2. Okay, that's these 2. They're in full dent. or close to full dent. This one here wasn't as dented as it was when I pulled it about an hour ago, but it's denting. These are still filling. There's no dent in those. And these two ears were taken off of, this was taken off of a, you know, low and wet. This was taken off of ideal. So I don't know how many rows are on here. I'm just going to go ahead and count them, I think. You know what I'm going to do? I've got my lanyard on here. Oops. Let me give you that FPV view. Hold on. Okay, so you're going to have FPV view. First person view. So what I do is I usually put my thumb on one, or on the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16. These are all 16. This oddball effed up thing is an 18 row. I counted it around there. So 18 rows. Similar in height or length as that one. Let's see what the kernel depth is. Very shallow. I would say very shallow. They're still filling, believe it or not. They're still filling. You know, so it's still feeding off the ground. Even though it's in dent, it will still elongate. Let's go to this other one, 16. Same thing, super tiny. Super tiny. Still elongating. You know, still filling, very soft. I don't know why it's dented, to be honest with you. This thing is like it's still milky, doughy, milky stage, you know, so it's still filling. We did just get about 2 inches of rain. This is fully filling. There's no dent at all. You can still squeeze water out of them, but again, no kernel depth there. And then we've got the ideal ear, which again is much more immature. This thing's squirting like a whatever, you know. So yes, they're just filling. They're still filling, and we got the rain to fill them. So if we've got the rain to fill them, then that just means that there's going to add test weight to it. And yeah, it's my calculations in my mind. It's just going to be anywhere from like 100 to 120 bushel, depending on the weather. And we just got the rain, so it's probably going to be somewhere around 120, 110, 120 bushel. It doesn't look bad, you know. I wish the kernel depth was a lot deeper, but we're still very young in the growth stage. I've got corn that is much deeper than this. And, you know, when you get more kernels per bushel, it's a heavier test weight anyway. And even if it was fully elongated, we could end up with some, you know, 58, 60 pound test weight. And that would be pretty good for here in New Jersey. But anyways, with that being said, yeah, I got chunks of steel here. Can you believe that? That chunk of steel is going to go for these here. I don't know what that kid's doing, but these reaches were too damn, they were too short. So I just bought an extension. I'm going to weld them in, fish plate them, and then stick them in there. And I'll get these gears up and running and the wagon bodies on them. When I ordered them, I think I said something about when I ordered them, but when I did order them, I told them that I had 16-foot boxes. I didn't tell them how long they were. I thought I said that they were supposed to be 12-foot bolster to bolster, and whatever. Doesn't matter what. We just don't have the right. We just don't have the right reaches. You know, we just don't have the right reaches. So, in order to get these reaches, the right reaches, right? The right reaches. I still have to keep these, and you'll love this. I mean, you will love this to death. Not only do I have to keep these reaches, I can't trade them in on the right reaches because they would have to be sent back to Canada because, you know, we're never going to sell another one of these gears ever again in our life. You know, that kind of attitude, which is fine. I would have to eat those reaches, and I would have to pay for the new reaches that are 11-foot reaches or 12-foot reaches. I'd say they were 12-foot reaches. Take 12-foot reaches, and those were to be $1,200. And I had to go pick them up. So you might as well add another $100, $150 worth of my time and labor for that. Fuel time to do that. So $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, just say $1,500 to go get the new reaches, and I'm stuck with these that I don't need. So what did I decide to do? I decided to go buy 3-foot extensions. These 3-footers. Okay? So that's it. 1, 2, 3. They cut them for me. I could only buy these in 3-foot sections. And they're fine. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and bring that thing up, put it on the welding table over there, and weld them together. And I just bought 1 1/4 inch annular cutter for my Haugen, I call it Haugen, drill, mag drill, and I'll bore the holes in once I get them set to the length I need them set at. And life will be good, right? Life will be good. I got $8,700 in these, plus $140, plus a day's time to get this stuff all done. So, might as well say I got $9,000 into these things easily by now, over $9,000. So whatever. You know, sometimes you're the bird, sometimes you're the window. And what I'm going to do also when I weld those on, I'm not just going to weld them flat on there. I'm actually going to fish plate them or gusset them. I've got some steel, and I'll just, you know, make them stronger. That's all. I'll just put a square piece or a diamond shaped piece on there and weld it up, and we'll be good. So that, you know, on each side, not the top and the bottom. There's really no need for top and bottom. That'll be fine. You just, on the sides, the 6-inch sides, do that. And then I'm going to be putting the rest of it together. For the price that I paid for them, I thought they should have been put together. Did not get tires and rims with it because I have tires and rims from the old wagons. And the old gears are going into the trash. So that's the end of that. But yeah, now I'm going to shut my mouth now. Well, what the heck is he doing? Did he go and get that thing? Anyways, I'm going to shut my mouth now and get to work. All right. I don't know how good this is going to work. The FPV thing, I think is going to be pretty cool, but especially when I'm doing welding and stuff. But yeah, we'll find out. You see me do all the weird stuff. And what we got? We are good there. Yeah, I didn't bleed the gas. What a fucked up thing. I think William got a hold of my... Oh, he did. William got a hold, he had it on TIG. I didn't even bother to set it up. Holy smokes. That looked bad, didn't it? Okay, we're good. So William put me on TIG weld. Now I gotta make sure that everything's good there. That sucks too. Wow, I'm gonna be grinding this shit off. I am gonna grind it off. Oh well. There. That's about right. There. Good to me. I'm using this flapper disc. Seems to work pretty okay. So I really kind of wanted to tack it up, and I think that's really what I've done. I just need to flip. Ow, they're sharp. I don't have my gloves on. I left my gloves off because I want to kind of sort of keep that correct there. All right, it's good for my house, doesn't it? Well, let's see what this guy does. This is designed specifically for metalwork. Cody had bought that. I guess he bought it with my money because he left it here, which is fine. What's that?
You're welding, get out of your way.
Why, did you need something?
No. I was
You
just
sure?
trying to say
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, you got your bail?
Yeah.
Tim was working on that mower in front of the trailer, and it was like, you know what, Tim, is Dad's tractor here?
Yeah, it's there. Well, he's got to go load his load. He came home. The dumb thing. That corner. So now that I've reinforced the corners, I'm happy with what I got. Now, let me go ahead and talk a little bit about this. We're going to talk about it just a little bit. All right, so these are, for those of you that don't know anything about reaches on a wagon, there is no weight carried by these. None at all. These reaches, or any reaches on a wagon, all they do is tie the front to the rear. That's it. There's no weight exerted down on them. They will twist a little bit. There's plenty of room there for twisting. That twisting action, they'll twist a little bit, but there will not be any weight on them. When you pull from the tongue, it pulls this whole system straight forward, which pulls the whole thing straight forward, and the movement is horizontal. It pulls from these pins to those pins there to drag the back of the wagon along. So if you get into a mud there, the tension from that tire going in the ground gets transferred from that ass end to this stringer or reach into the front, and that's it. So there's no weight there at all. So what I'm going to do when I'm done with this, oh, I know why it's, I'm like, holy shit, did I screw that up that bad? No, it's the weld has elevated it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make these up. I got 4 to do, 3 more to do. I'm going to slide them in, and then I'm going to take my mag drill, and I bought a 1 1/4 inch, yeah. Think, stupid, think. 1 1/4 inch annular cutter. I'm going to magnetically stick that sucker right to the side in the hole that I want it to be in, which will be this hole. I'm going to put it in that hole because I'm not going to be stretching any of these. I mean, I can stretch it out. I'll put it in that hole there. I will also do that to this hole and that hole, which it doesn't matter because that hole is already drilled specifically for there, and I can move them in and out or whatnot. So I'll put, actually that will have to go into this hole, that hole there, because I need 12 feet, and it will be 12 feet when I'm done. So, and that'll be it. And then I'll put the bolts in, and life will be good, right? Life will be good. So I'm going to shut up now and get on with the rest of this welding job, and you'll see me put it together here in a little while. It won't take long.